15.
There's the man who ran Bill Clinton's '92 campaign in Indiana, taking a payoff from an undercover FBI agent in his bathrobe.
Should be right.
And the politician known as Chicago's Mr. Clean.
And I say it directly, I will not be bought.
Who pocketed $14,000 in bogus campaign contributions, using names of dead people as donors. How did they get caught? Through a vast undercover sting called Operation Silver Shovel that scooped up 18 top Chicago officials on charges of bribery, racketeering, extortion, and fraud. Former prosecutor John Gallo says the key to the investigation was an ex-con named John Christopher. In 1991, the FBI asked him how he was able to dump debris from construction sites illegally around the city.
And John answered, I was paying off the alderman.
He just offered this up. I've been bribing this alderman.
Right. They literally stumbled into what became the most successful political corruption case in Chicago's history.
Christopher was just out of prison and had no interest in going back. So the government made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Turn informant and get city officials taking bribes on camera.
Have a seat, gentlemen.
Christopher, who used the alias Johnny DeVito, was a shady figure. A chain-smoking con artist who allegedly had ties to the mafia. He was a big talker, here asking a politician to use his influence to get him a state contract.
If you feel uncomfortable with everything I said the right way to you, okay, then there's something wrong with you. Because there's no politicians in this world that I know that don't do, give me this and I'll give you that.
John was the most trustworthy crook in Chicago. They never imagined John Christopher was cooperating with the government.
Wait a minute, when you say trustworthy crook, you mean?
There's an old expression in Chicago, don't deal with nobody that nobody sent. John Christopher was not a nobody.
He was certainly somebody to Thomas Fuller, president of the Chicago Water District. Overseeing a yearly budget of $750 million, Fuller said on an FBI tape he was happy to do business with Christopher, or Johnny D as he knew him.
I can deal with a crook, you know, and he's a crook, I guarantee you. And if he's crook, you know what, I like him, okay? But he's not, wait a minute, he's not a crook, I like him.
Alderman or City Councilman Jesse Evans was also eager to deal. An undercover FBI agent assigned as Christopher's partner asked Evans to get city street sweepers to clean a private construction site. While taxpayers were footing the bill, the alderman pocketed over $7,000 in cash.
I got it. Okay, he's going to clean everything up. So I saved about $2,000 based on 2 weeks, and so your share that would be $1,000. Is that fair? Yeah. Okay. Don't want to short you. Okay, sir. Okay, sorry.
And Alderman Evans kept getting paid for his services.
14, 15. Gone by beeper.
Then there was political consultant James Blasingame, who had a different arrangement. He was paid to bring in other corrupt politicians.
Does he know what's going on with all this, or?
Blasingame came to the apartment of the undercover FBI agent, who gave him a $5,000 payoff before he'd even gotten dressed. After almost 3.5 years of the undercover sting, the feds launched what they called Takedown Day, confronting all the politicians they caught.
The results of the interviews were coming in, and you were hearing confession and cooperation, lied about getting money. The results were stunning.
Some, like Alderman Larry Bloom, insisted they were innocent.
And I refuse to plead guilty to the false charges.
But a year later, the man known as Mr. Clean did plead guilty to accepting $14,000 in bribes.
Mr. Bloom, will you talk to us about your guilty?
While Bloom refused to talk, with other politicians did. We went from Chicago to the federal prison camp in Oxford, Wisconsin, where we met Thomas Fuller and Jesse Evans, both serving time for extortion. Evans admits getting city street sweepers to clean a private construction site, but says the $7,300 he received was not a bribe.
They made a campaign contribution.
Pardon me?
They made a campaign contribution to me.
Evans blamed an overly aggressive government for entrapping an honest public official. You're saying that it's the FBI and the prosecutors who are the bad guys, not you?
You finally get the picture, Mr. Wallace. They are the bad guys.
But the most corrupt politician in Operation Silver Shovel, prosecutors say, was Thomas Fuller. When he heard about a deal a friend made, they say he set up his own meeting with Christopher, who handed him a pack of cigarettes filled with money.
What was your reaction?
Well, it was Christmas. It was Christmas time. That was my reaction.
And Christopher didn't just give him a cigarette pack. Another time, it was food, hiding a $5,000 payoff.
How did he give you the money?
He put it in a sandwich.
Pardon me?
He put it in a sandwich. You hear what I said?
I mean, I've heard lettuce and tomato.
Wait, no. What I'm saying here.
Well, wait
you
a minute.
Go check.
Mr. Fuller, didn't you find, you're a smart man here. Right?
Yeah, right.
Didn't you find it a little peculiar that John Christopher comes into your office and hands you a sandwich filled with cash?
It is strange. I admit to that.
Did you see any connection between the fact that he wanted your help and that he was handing you a sandwich filled with money?
Yeah, I saw the connection, but I'm not going to do anything. So what?
So why'd you take the money? Mr. Fuller?
Hey, wasn't thinking that day.
Of all 18 officials who have been convicted in Operation Silver Shovel, we could find only one who openly admits he was guilty.
Nobody held a gun to my head, said, take the money. I was stupid.
Alderman Ambrosio Madrana was one of Chicago's top Hispanic politicians when he agreed to help Christopher and was paid $1,000 a week.
He gave me the money, and I took it. Just like that, I took it.
I mean, you and this crook had a nice, cozy relationship.
Yes, that's what it was. I'd see him from time to time, and I'd take his money.
Well, how do you explain it?
Greed. Greed.
But in all the controversy, it's easy to overlook what may be the bottom line here. That the voters who put these men in office have been betrayed.
Are you sorry you did it, or are you just sorry that you got caught?
No, I'm sorry I did it. I am very sorry. Because I understand the hurt that they're going through. I mean, it didn't just hurt me. It hurt my whole community.